Hi everybody, welcome to Flames Pyro Art for Beginners. Today we're just going to have a very brief tutorial about wood preparation. And here we have sawdust is man glitter, and we're going to be creating plenty of sawdust today. Recently I've had a gentleman from Ireland send me over a large piece of wood to do a cat pyrography portrait on it, and I will now introduce you to the large piece of wood. There we have it. It's quite a big piece. What I want to do was zoom in if possible and show you all some of the roughness of the wood. It's quite rough to the touch. Obviously we've got a big scar running down here that we're not going to be able to do anything with that. We're not going to be sanding back far enough to remove that scar. We've got other little pox marks. I'm trying to capture it in the light for you so you can actually see the wood. So when we're creating pyrography portraits, as I've said in the past, we need our wood to be as smooth as we can possibly get it. I mean, we're quite lucky with this piece where I don't know how it's been cut, but quite often when we get, say, live edge pieces of wood, I mean, if we see on the back of this piece, it's got its trunk still on it. But when we get live edge wood, that's usually from a lumberjack and he's had his chainsaw on it. It leaves quite a lot of scarring and a lot of mess. And as pyrographers, unfortunately, we cannot create highly detailed art onto that type of wood. I mean, let's see if we can really zoom here. No, it's just not letting me show you the all the poor sanding of the wood. So anyway, what we're going to be doing today is sanding this wood back so it is super smooth to be able to transfer the image of the cat over to the piece of wood and be able to begin creating the pyrography portrait on it. So I just want to touch base with you all. This is a preparing your wood video. Sorry, I've got shaky hands. When I go out and start actually sanding this piece of wood, let me just try and put my hands steady. I will start filming again and we shall see the process of getting our wood super smooth to be able to create our wonderful pyrography art onto. Okay, so I shall see you in the shed shortly, and we're going to be creating plenty of sawdust man glitter. Okay, take care everybody, see you soon, bye. Hi everybody, welcome back to Flames Pyro Art for Beginners. So we're now out in the shed with our piece of wood. Hopefully you can see it a little better. I had a bit of a tidy up. There we go. You can see down here there's lots of rough patches on this large piece of elm. So I thought we would have a little look at some of the tools we can use to sand our pieces of wood. We have, first of all, we have just a flat sander. We can go through the various stages of grit with that. That's a good piece, that's a good thing to use for large areas, and you keep a flat shape, you know, because the bottom of the board is flat, so that's quite a good implement to use if you want to not create any sort of bowl shape or anything. Then we have the orbital sander, which is a powerfully spinning disc. We have various grit pads we can use on that. It spins really fast and we can just move that nicely over the wood. And then of course we've got, I think what everybody's favourite is, the detail mouse sander. Now I've just put a larger, this is an old piece of sandpaper that I'd stuck to my detail sander. Then, so they're the different stages I would look at to start with. I would look at using power tools to start the sanding process. Definitely save you a lot of elbow grease and a lot of work. And then we move through the different stages of grit. Now, when I first started looking into the sanding of the wood and stuff, people used to say to me, oh, I got up to 2,500 grit or 3,000 grit or whatever it was, and I'd think, what the hell are they talking about? And basically, if we look on the back of these two pieces of sandpaper, we have there a 320 and there is a 1200. So this is just two examples. Now the 320 is quite coarse compared to the 1200, which is very much like wet and dry. And I do think you can go to even further than that, which you can, is a 2,500 grit. And so that is, there's barely any sanding qualities to that. That's when you want to get the final ultra smooth finish. You would use something like this, which is, like I said, 2,500 grit. And then at the bottom end we have another 120 grit, which is really coarse. So these sorts of sandpapers we would use early, and we would progress through the different stages of the grit until we get to the smoother and smoother sandpaper, so we can get our piece of elm super smooth. Now of course you don't want to do this in your house. For all you gentlemen that'll be watching, your wife would go absolutely mad because you do kick off a hell of a lot of sawdust from doing this process. So definitely it's a project for in the shed. Have the door open, use a mask where possible. I mean, I did have some dust masks, but they all got used early pandemic, so I'm just going to use this as a dust mask today. And we're going to start sanding this lovely piece of elm. So I'm going to start off with my flat sander. This is where we're going to start with. Then I'm going to step to the orbital sander, and then I will finish off with a mouse sander. So I shall start sanding away. After I've finished some of the stages, I'll check back in with you. Okay, I'll speak to you soon. Take care for now. Bye. Hi everybody, welcome back to Flame's Pyro Art for Beginners. So we've been sanding for possibly a little over an hour now, and I just wanted to show you, we're still at the 120 grit, but you see all these lines. Let's see if I can get to them with my hand. See there, all these lines need to be removed if we're gonna have a nice end product. So this is where power tools, I mean mine aren't the greatest power tools in the world either, but this is where power tools are a godsend. Imagine having to plane all this or sand all this by hand. You would take days and days. I mean, it's going to take me several hours to get this piece of wood super smooth to be able to work on. But I'm going to go and have a cup of tea now, dust myself off, and then come back for round 2. Okay, so I'll speak to you all soon. Take care guys, bye for now. Hi everybody, Neil from Flames Pyro Art back again. We've been several hours now sanding, well, 3 or 4 hours sanding a piece of wood, and it is now relatively smooth. We're getting there, almost at the point. Is the putty cat coming to look? We're almost at the point where we can say enough's enough. My legs have cramped up so many times as I've been sat on the floor sanding this lovely piece of elm out. I suppose you have to be a bit of a wood connoisseur or wood geek to appreciate the lovely grains and patterns of a piece of wood. I know I certainly do, and it's brilliant to be able to sand them back and show all the wood's beauty. Okay, so I'm just going to do the last final couple of stages of grit, which is super fine, and then I'm going to take this piece of wood back into the house, speak to the customer regarding how he wants this cat to look on it, and then we should be able to start creating the pyrography portrait onto it. Okay, so remember, there's a few key points here. Sorry, let me just sit down in the chair. It's the 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. So by preparing correctly, taking the time to sand the wood properly, and you know, giving it some due care, love and attention, will pay off dividends at the back end when you've finished your beautiful piece of artwork. So definitely the 5 P's in operation here on this piece of wood. It's looking quite nice now, and I'm quite pleased, even though my legs are screaming cramp. But hopefully the customer will be pleased and we can get cracking with the artwork. So I shall speak to you all again very soon, and we'll start this wonderful cat portrait, which I'm really looking forward to doing. I'm super excited about getting started on this, so we'll be able to begin soon. Okay, take care for now, everybody. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, happy burning, and bye for now.